Would you rather be bad? Okay, I tried. I over-exaggerated. Love to all, and welcome everybody. My name is BLacKHaLLoW, and this is Would You Rather. We're back for another episode because, again, I have too much fun with this game, so without too much more ado, let's just jump right in. Would you rather have ice breath or have fire breath? And we're gonna assume that this is like fire and not like on fleek, that kind of fire, like, oh, that's on fire, brother, like that kind of thing. So between the two of them, I think, sorry, I'm still drinking my coffee. I think between the two of them, I would probably have to go with fire breath. I love how they color-coded them. They didn't, like, you know, swap them around the other way. Ice breath. Okay, for those of you guys that play Overwatch, I think Mei is the most annoying fucking thing in the entire world. I hate her. Whenever I see her, I get the hell out of there, regardless of what character I am. Hopefully I'm Genji and I have my dash thing, my swift blade or whatever it's called, so I can get the hell out of there right away, because I just hate it. I hate it. So I'd want to have fire breath because, one, I think it's too cool, and two, if I ever encounter a Mei, God, I can't speak. If I ever encounter a Mei in real life, then I can at least melt the crap out of her. Wow, that's actually really interesting. Huh. That is very interesting. Now, I would imagine that you have the ability to control it when it happens. It's not going to be just like an automatic, like every time you open your mouth, it comes out. But I personally like the cold weather a lot more. But I do have to warm my hands up, obviously, from time to time. So I would want to have fire breath because I find myself outside more often than not during the winter months than during the summer months. It's just a personal preference of mine. You know, I just like the cold. I like where I live. So yeah, I'd rather have fire breath. Let me know down in the comments below if you would rather have ice breath or fire breath. That's a good one to start off on. That's a good one. Would you rather fight a wolf with your bare hands or fight a large bear with a sword? I think I've answered. Wait, oh, they clarified. Okay. You have the sword, not the bear. Okay, good. There's one thing that I answered on this channel before, and it was like between a bear or a lion, and both of them you had to fight with a certain weapon of some sort. I believe maybe one of them was with a crossbow. I can't really remember. Either way, let's just assume that the sword is something that is of the mobile variety, like a katana or something like that. Something that you can move, not like a claymore, a two-handed bladed weapon that really takes some momentum to swing, because otherwise you get one good swing and then, I mean, you're pretty much screwed after that. Because of the fact that I have a lot of experience with wolves, not only in the hybrid that I own, but also I have a lot of experience outside of that on sanctuaries and whatnot. I feel like I'd be probably up to par with this. Fighting a bear with a sword, I've always been more of a staff kind of guy, like Morgan from The Walking Dead. Whenever I go out hiking, I always have a bow staff with me. He's got a Joe staff, which is a little bit shorter. Some people claim it's a bow. It's actually a Joe. It's a little bit shorter. But I don't know. I wouldn't want the bladed weapon. And fighting a wolf with my bare hands, you know, at the end of the day, you guys, it's pretty intimidating when you see a wolf up close, but if you know how they operate and if you know how to handle yourselves around them, you can usually, one, diffuse a situation. So we're operating on the assumption that I could do that as well. And two, I also know what to expect out of them. So for me, fighting a wolf with my bare hand, oh my God. See, fighting a bear with a sword, you would get like one attack in. You get one freaking attack, and then everything from then on out would be luck of the draw. And at the end of the day, you don't know if you would have enough know-how of using the sword to swing it the correct way to actually do damage to the bear. Keep in mind that the damn bear has a large pelt. A wolf, all you gotta do is get the thing in a chokehold and knock it out, and you're done. And it's all good to go, pretty much. So I think that even though I went with the minority on this one, I'd be better suited to fight a wolf with my bare hands. Bare hands. Would you rather have 300 horses? Oh boy. Or have a car with 300 horsepower? Well, I already have a car with 280, I think. Right now, I've got a Magnum, a Dodge Magnum. So I'm kind of pretty damn close to this already. I mean, it's cool. Like, when I want to pass somebody, I can get around them a little bit quicker, but I'm a very safe driver. Like, I don't utilize those horses, really. Having 300 horses, I don't know if I'd be able to care for 300 horses. Like, as cool as that would be to be in that position, where you'd be able to have a farm and stuff like that, or a ranch rather, I guess. That would be awesome. But between the two, let's operate on the assumption that I don't already have the car. Having the car with 300 horsepower would be a little bit more practical. So I would rather have the car with, yeah, I just couldn't care for that many animals, you guys. You see, animals are great, but at the end of the day, you have to have enough time for them. You absolutely have to have enough time for them. I'm pushing it with 4 dogs. These are 300 horses, and 1 horse weighs more than my 4 dogs put together. So I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, I couldn't justify it. But having a car with 300 horsepower, my goal in the near future is to own a homestead. So having a car with 300 horsepower to tow, you know, a trailer, or, you know, haul garbage to the local transfer station, things like that, that would be a little bit more practical on my end. So even if you love horses, you guys, it's just, you just wouldn't have the time. You wouldn't have the time. It would be a dream. It would be a novelty. It would be most practical in a dream, but in reality, I don't know. That would almost be on, you know, borderline animal cruelty if you own them all yourself. Let me know. What would you prefer? What would you prefer? And what kind of cars do you guys have? I'm really curious. Would you rather be Batman? Okay, I tried. I over-exaggerated. Or be Superman. I can't do a Superman impression. I don't even know if he has an impression. So basically, would you rather, be incredibly smart, incredibly rich, and an average human being, you know, who has trained himself and conditioned his mind and body to be an elite crime fighter, if you will, an elite vigilante, or would you rather actually have superpowers? For me, I think between the two of them, I would rather be Batman, because I got a lot more respect. Obviously, with, you know, quoting Spider-Man, whatever great power comes great responsibility. This guy has superpowers, and he treats it the correct way. He's not a supervillain, but with Batman, he earned his keep, if you will, quote unquote. You know, he could easily kill, he could easily become a villain and self-serve. Part of me thinks he does self-serve to actually do the things that he does, because he does it from maybe an addiction standpoint. But I think between the two of them, I respect Batman more. I enjoy Batman more. I love the Telltale series Batman, by the way, and I'm curious if they'd ever make a Superman one. But yeah, between the two, I'd rather be Batman. Okay, cool. I was thinking that was going to be a pretty even split on that one. What would you guys rather be? God, we're just getting a bunch of questions today that I'm really curious about what you guys would answer. And I'm always curious, and you're always welcome to answer all the questions down in the comments below, because I love learning more about you guys. But these ones, they're very thought-provoking. Yeah. I'd rather be Batman. Okay, that was a little better. That was a little not quite so exaggerated. Would you rather go to heaven or hell, or be reborn into a better or worse life? You know, this is getting into beliefs on the channel. And for me, I have always believed that if you didn't get it the first go around, you're coming back. Like, if you believe anything else, I don't mean to put those beliefs down in any way, because I'm not trying to say that I know. That's the curious thing about my opinion on faith, is that I don't know. I believe that. I feel like that's the way that it is. I feel it inside, but I don't know. I don't know, and I wholeheartedly admit that. And my beliefs are subject to change as well over time. They have changed many times, many times. And that's a very vague description of my beliefs. But either way, I would rather be reborn into a better or worse life, depending on what I did here. Because if I didn't get what I was supposed to get, if I didn't do the things I was supposed to do, as my puppy knocks her food bowl around in the background, if I didn't accomplish the things I was meant to accomplish while I was here, I would want another shot. I would really want another shot, as opposed to living out eternity being reminded of my successes or my failures. So I would rather be reborn. See, that's what I was thinking, is that it was going to be an even split between that one. Because, you know, I think people find a lot of comfort. People find a lot of comfort in the idea of an afterlife. And I think the same amount of people also find a lot of comfort in the being reborn into a better or worse life, into reincarnation. I feel like if there is a heaven or a hell, and this is, again, getting into beliefs, and I do my best to keep these off the channel. If there is a heaven or a hell, there has to be some sort of a filter, you know, to where, like, okay, you were great, but you weren't that great, or you were bad, or you weren't that bad, and you should probably have another go around. But I feel like unfinished business, limbo, that sort of thing. I don't know. I find comfort in this side of things. Maybe that might be diving a little bit too deep for some of you guys out there, and I hope you respect my opinion. We're all just trying to find our way. We are all just trying to find our way on this blue dot, and you know, that's the conclusion I guess that I've came to in my path. Would you rather not be able to taste or not be able to smell? That's a good one. That is a good one. It's robbing you, obviously, of one sense. So one of your other senses would get heightened. So let's just look at that as a straight up thumbs up, from the beginning. Like, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I think between the two, I've always been a food nut, right? And working as a pawnbroker, I've smelled some nasty things, some really nasty things. Obviously, you can visually see if food is good or not. You can see if there's mold on it. You can see if there's bugs or something to that effect on it. So I think between the two of them, practicality-wise, smell might allow you to perceive whether your environment is threatening to you in any way, shape, or form. So I would rather not be able to taste because of the safety factor incorporated into it. Now, if my sight, if my hearing, if my smell, it would probably be connected to the smell more than anything, were to get heightened from that, then, that's awesome. But just operating on an observation of you need to be safe where you are at if the air you are breathing smells like mold or mildew or something like that, or so I don't know. I just feel like not tasting, it would suck, but not being able to smell, it might get you killed. So not being able to taste might be a little bit better. I had a feeling I was going to go with the minority on that one. Food is good, I know, but I mean, imagine you walk into a room and it just smells like rotten eggs. I don't know, man. I don't know. This one, you might run into some serious problems. Let me know in the comments down below. Would you rather not be able to taste or not be able to smell? Would you rather always run or always crawl? That is a good one. I'm assuming that it would be like a sprint, like a fast run. It wouldn't be like a brisk jog or anything like that. Over time, you would likely, get toned, you would get fit, all that jazz. Like this would be healthy for you. Always crawling, your legs would fatigue. Your muscles would oh crap, not depreciate. Oh, what's the word for when muscles start to break down? And I can't remember the word right now. I'll probably put it in editing right here. But either way, I think I would rather always run. I've always been a fan of the outdoors and being active and stuff like that. But I've never been a runner. I've always been a sprinter. Well, I was a sprinter when I was in not cross country, but track and field. So I think I would rather always run. Okay, alrighty, yeah. Crawling, that presents a lot of interesting things. Your exposure to any bacteria or anything like that that's on the floor, obviously it goes up tenfold because your hands are constantly on the floor. You wouldn't be able to reach things on high shelves and stuff like that. And this, you would become conditioned. Now, this, I mean, maybe you could get around it by going in like a wheelchair or something like that and finding a loophole in the would you rather question. But either way, I would always go the more healthy route. Always go the more healthy route. That and like imagine going across a crosswalk or like going on a beach or so. Oh yeah, always run. Always run. Would you rather have everything you touch turn to dust or have everything you touch turn to gold? This kind of ties into, is it King Midas? I think it's King Midas that was, given the quote unquote curse or blessing or whatever, of everything that he touched turned to gold. Yeah, it was King Midas. I don't know. I think the devil might have actually had, I don't know. That's getting into beliefs too, and I'm not incredibly knowledgeable. Like I've read a lot of things out there, all kinds of scriptures from many different religions, backgrounds, beliefs, stuff like that. But I don't want to quote myself on that. But I do know that this was King Midas. I do know that was King Midas. So between the two of them, they're the same thing, really, at the end of the day. You'd have to wear gloves. You'd have to wear gloves everywhere, and you'd never, be able to take them off. And, God forbid that your gloves actually, like, turn to gold when you put them on. unless they had some sort of gold lining on the inside of them. But either way, they're both kind of crappy choices. To say that I wanted everything to turn to gold would seem selfish. But if I were to ever accidentally turn something to gold, like if I were to ever touch something that I didn't want to turn to gold, whether it was a family member, a pet, a piece of equipment or something like that, if I were to ever do that, it would immortalize them in a way, and it would allow them to stay around long enough for me to grieve. If things turn to dust, then it would just be like poof, it's gone, and that can be kind of damaging. So if for me, I would rather have things turn to gold, but the first damn thing that I would do after I found out that I turnn things to gold after I touched them would be to acquire a special set of gloves that would allow me to live life and not have to worry about that. Plus, I don't think that you'd be able to wear gloves with a dust liner on the inside of them. Let's get real. So I'd rather go with the gold option. I wouldn't, and that is actually fairly surprising that, it wasn't an even split considering the fact that they both are essentially the same thing. This would just allow me to grieve, and it would also allow me likely the ability to prevent it with gold line gloves or something to that effect. So, man, we're getting some good questions today. Would you rather be a Jedi Master or be an elite Cyan? I'm pretty sure that's how you say that. Sorry, Dragon Ball Z fans. I know that that's Dragon Ball Z, but I've never actually thoroughly watched Dragon Ball Z. For me, I would rather be a Jedi Master because that is what I watched when I was young. That is, and granted, I didn't get that much into Star Wars and stuff like that, but the idea of the Force, of being, an advocate for good, fighting the forces of evil, stuff like that, I feel like I would be much more catered to this side of things. And I also know how, and obviously I'm assuming that these guys fight for good too and stuff like that, but I may be wrong. But I've already answered that I would rather be on I would rather be a Sith Lord than a Jedi Master in one of the other episodes. So this is a little contradictory, but I mean, if I were to even pick one of the universes to be in, it would be in the Star Wars universe. I'd rather be a Jedi Master. I love the lightsaber. That's really all it boils down to, is I just want a freaking lightsaber. I could care less if I'm on the good side or the bad side. I'll take the the second string hitter or whatever the baseball term is. I would be the guy that sits on the bench the entire time, as long as I got to go home and play with the little training robot and pew, 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 that kind of thing. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate all the support that this series gets. I always say that at the end of this. But what I love about this series is that it opens up discussion, and it allows us to see a little bit more into what we would choose and why. Not many of the other games do that, and that's why I love keeping this series going. So let me know in the comments down below any questions that you would want to answer and what your choices are and why, because I always love hearing from you guys. And obviously, let me know, would you rather be a Jedi Master or be an Elite Cyan? Let me know if I'm saying that right, and let me know if they fight for good as well, because I'm too lazy to Google it right now. So friends, if you enjoy what you see, and only if, leave a little love in the comment section or leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of whatever the hell comes next. And as usual, enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you guys again.